Metal Shop is brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Metal Shop.
Ronnie James Dio remembers recording the Rainbow Master Classic, Man on the Silver Mountain.
I've always liked the naturalness of being able to write a song just on the spot.
On From the Inside, Alice Cooper says it's time to blow the imitators off the map.
It would be nice just to establish the fact that this is the person that does this for real.
Also tonight, Megadeth's frontman Dave Mustaine answers one of your questions. We've got metal notes on The Firm, Lita Ford, King Cobra, former Saxon bass player Steve Dawson, and Running Wild.
This is Alice Cooper. This is Ronnie James Dio.
Hi, this is Frehley. I'll be coming at you on the Metal Shop, so watch out.
You'll hear them all tonight on the only show with teeth.
Metal Shop.
Hi, this is Charlie Kendall, and I do hope you're enjoying the holidays. A couple of metal notes. Lita Ford is currently working on her third album and has been writing songs for it with Motley Crue's Nikki Sixx, Billy Sheehan of David Lee Roth Band, and former Ozzy and Quiet Riot bassist Rudy Sarzo. Earlier this year, Metal Shop featured the German band Running Wild on Fresh Metal. Well, they've just started working on their second album, which at this point is untitled. In just a few minutes, Dave Mustaine of Megadeth answers a listener's question. Ronnie James Dio talks about recording a master classic with Ritchie Blackmore, and Racer X grinds out the fresh metal. Metal Shop, just what the doctor ordered.
Hi, I'm Ronnie James Dio. Metal Shop will return with my master classic after these messages.
Metal Shop.
Let's open a letter from a Metal Shop listener and ask the stars. Jim Puccio, who cranks Metal Shop on 93 WQFM in Milwaukee, asked Dave Mustaine, Metallica's original guitarist, why he left the group in 1983 to form his own band, Megadeth. Here's Dave.
It was a matter of attitude and not ability, and we got along really well in the beginning, and as we got to know each other, I guess when you get familiar with people and you start to find things that you do and you don't like, and we just ended up splitting and going our own ways. It wasn't that we didn't like, each other's playing and everything. It was just that, I guess, attitudes weren't exactly perfect.
Tonight on Fresh Metal, it's a four-piece band called Racer X, led by guitarist Paul Gilbert, from their debut album, Street Lethal. Here's the title track. Tonight on Master Classics, it's an artist that's been involved on a number of them, Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie's voice can be heard on some of the greatest metal songs ever put to vinyl. Let's start off with one of the first Master Classics he recorded, Rainbow's Man on the Silver Mountain. Here's Ronnie with the story of how that track came about.
Man on the Silver Mountain was one of those songs that Ritchie and myself are notorious for writing in the studio. I've always liked the naturalness of being able to write a song just on the spot. A lot of times you're prepared for an album, very prepared. We normally went in with about 5 tracks and had to write the remaining 3 to 4 in the studio. It's great because you're under pressure. In that situation, working with Ritchie, it was rather strange because it was a matter of we wrote the backing track one day, and then I would have to take the song back to my room that night, spend the entire night constructing a song now for this thing that was going to be done the next day. And there were no bones about it. It was going to be done the next day. But I like to do it that way because I think the naturalness of it is really what rock and roll is all about.
Here's another metal note for you. Former Saxon bass player Steve Dawson, who was booted out of the band a couple of months ago, is already back in action with a new 3-piece band called USI. Dawson, who was the longest surviving Saxon member, says he hasn't heard from any of the other members since he left, and still doesn't really know why he was kicked out of the group. When Metal Shop returns, Alice Cooper states his case, and Ace Frehley returns.
Hey, headbangers, this is Alice Cooper. We'll be back with more Metal Shop right after this.
Metal Shop.
If you've had a chance to check out Alice Cooper on his current comeback tour, then no doubt you've experienced his over-the-top stage show. As far back as 1970, Alice Cooper was into theatrics long before anyone else. As a result, more than half of today's metal bands are bringing some sort of stage show out on tour. Tonight on From the Inside, Alice says he's flattered by all the Cooper clones, but now it's time to separate the men from the boys.
Well, it would be nice to blow most of the Alice imitators off the map. They know who they are. It would be nice just to establish the fact that this is the person that does this for real. I don't play around at it. I do it for real. When I talk about the other bands that do imitations, I have nothing against them. In fact, that's a compliment to me that they would even attach themselves to my attitude or to Alice's attitude or Alice's music or Alice's look. As far as I'm concerned, that to me is a total compliment. And I applaud anybody
that's out there doing it, because I think that if there's anything that we should do right now, it's eliminate the disco in disguise rock that's out there.
Since Ace Frehley left Kiss in 1983, Metal Shop's received hundreds of letters from our listeners who want to know where he's been and why he hasn't recorded an album yet. Aside from a Northeast mini tour in March of '85, Ace has stayed away from the spotlight. That is, until now, because tonight we've got a world-exclusive feature interview with original Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley. He's just signed a deal with Megaforce Atlantic Records and expects his first post-Kiss solo LP to be out in April. Ace explained why after 4 years he still hasn't finished recording that album.
July 8th was when I got out of the band, legally anyway. Basically, it's been 3.5 years, and I recorded the album about 4 times already. I've gone through 5 different producers. And it's ironic, when I left the group, I got together with Eddie Kramer up in my house, and I had a studio up there in Connecticut. And we started working, and things were sounding good, but for some reason, at the time, there was a lot of synthesized music happening, and for some reason, I said I wanted to maybe go off into a different direction, maybe try a different producer, and I went through 4 different producers, and just recently, I got back together with Eddie Kramer again, so I went full circle, and I'm back with Eddie, and working on a great album.
Judging by all the mail Metal Shop has received over the years, there are lots of Ace Frehley fans hungry for a new album. We asked Ace if he had anything to say to his fans.
I just want to say to my fans, between the fan mail and what I've heard from people at record stores and record companies and PR people, it's just, for years everybody's been saying, when's the record going to come out? And I've been, trying to say, everybody hang in there, hang in there. And I want to thank all my fans for sticking with me. And, the long-awaited Ace Frehley album will be well worth it, well worth the wait.
2 final metal notes. Although rumors have been flying, the firm have not broken up. Actually, both Jimmy Page and Paul Rodgers have taken some time off to record solo albums. Another band that's been rumored to have split up is King Cobra. Not true. Bass player Lonnie Benson has stepped in to replace Johnny Rod, who is now with Wasp. Meanwhile, Carmine Appice and the Blonde Boys are working on new material for their 3rd album. But before that record comes out, they've got to find a new record label.
Hey, this is John Bon Jovi.
And I'm Richie Sambora.
Bon Jovi. This week's most valuable metal's coming up next. Stick around.
Metal Shop.
Here's this week's new #1 metal from Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. Metal? You say you're into metal. Well, you can't just say it, you gotta show it. Prove your lust for metal and get into Metal Shop's outrageous t-shirt and go for it. Invest in this wild yet low-priced black beauty of a shirt with our one and only Buzzsaw logo and motto, the only show with teeth. It's easy, and all at the low cost of $8.95 plus $1 for postage and handling. Just send your check or money order to Metal Shop, care of MJI Broadcasting, 666 Fifth Avenue, New York, 10103. That's $9.95 to Metal Shop, care of MJI Broadcasting, 666 Fifth Avenue, New York, 10103. And don't forget to indicate your size. I'm Charlie Kendall. See you next week on
Metal Shop.
The show with teeth. Metal Shop is a production of the MJI Radio Network and has been brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be.